Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Hey, baby, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Really good. I've got a guest coming up later in the program. I'm excited to chat with a young lady by the name of April Joy Ford. And she says, "You are not alone." That's the name of her book, I believe. I'm going to be chatting with her about when you're going through things, you need to understand you're not the only one going through that. So got some advice for you. We'll be chatting with her later in the show. Also, did you know that researchers now believe that there's a difference between the length in your index finger and the length of your ring finger that could indicate your athletic ability? I don't have a whole lot of difference, so I must not have a lot of athletic ability. If you're very athletic, look at your fingers and see, is your ring finger and your index finger, is there a big difference? I'd like to know. That's fascinating to me. How about yours? Are yours about the same?
No, they're not the same.
Are they different in length?
Yes, they're different in length.
A big difference?
You can see them. I don't know.
They're-
Is that a big difference or is that a little difference?
That's a tiny... This finger and this finger, they're almost the same length.
Oh.
What fingers
I thought
are
you
looking
meant that
at?
finger.
No, put that one away. Hey, if you want to lose weight, join a soccer league. Researchers from Copenhagen, Denmark, the university there, say soccer works off more fat than jogging, and you build muscle. But you could also get, hit by other players and balls and stuff, so be careful. Coming up, we're going to chat about some special things happening. That is all on the way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today,
I
John?
thought you'd never ask. It's Wednesday, April the 20th. Today is Chinese Language Day. That would be a good language to learn. There's a lot of people that are Chinese. They're more and more being born, and now they went from being able to have one baby to have two babies, so there's going to be even more. So that might not be a bad language to learn. Also, today is International Cli-Fi Day. What is Cli-Fi Day?
I have no clue.
CLI-FI. Cli-Fi? Cli-Fi? I don't know
no
what that
clue.
is. Cliffy? I don't
We'll have to
know.
look it up.
It's also National Cheddar Fries Day. I like that. But I think it's interesting that happens to also land on National Pot Smokers Day. National Pot Smokers Day and National Cheddar Fries Day. Do you think that it's a coincidence that they're the same day?
I don't know. I just like regular fries.
I like fries, but I like it when there's some places where they have loaded fries where they put cheese and bacon and more fries. I like those too. Those are good. Maybe this is why I should go play soccer and jog. All right. Bunch of fun stuff to celebrate today on this 20th day of April.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. I'll give you a toll-free number to call, 888-547-8007. Start earning 6% now. Call 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. There's a new way to travel, Heidi.
All right.
We all try to make our plans to go see our parents, especially when they're under the weather. But István Beka of Budapest had a bit of a problem. He was 155 miles from mom, and he didn't have enough money to take a train. But he took a train anyway at a discounted rate. Guess how?
How?
He used the postal service. Yep, István mailed himself to his mother. He found a large cardboard box, poked some air holes in it, threw a couple of bottles of water in there and some sandwiches, and then told the guy at the post office, please seal this box and send me to my mother. There's no postal regulation in Budapest against mailing yourself. I don't think you can do that in the United States.
Oh, I know you can't do that in the United States.
The next day, he saw his mother at 1/20th the cost of a train ride because he was not taking up a seat. He was in a box with all of the mail. So there you go. 1/20th of the cost of a train ride.
Wow.
He made it there. Got there the next day. Imagine if he would have gotten lost in the mail. That would have been bad.
That would suck. But it's just a cardboard box. I'm sure he could have kicked his way out. So
Yeah.
if he ended up in a pickle, he could have
I just
gotten
think
out. He would have been fine.
I think that could have ended up really, really, really bad.
Well, hey, it
But
worked.
That's what he did. Itzvam Beka of Budapest mailed himself. So there you go. I don't think I would want to do that.
No.
I am claustrophobic. I'm not claustrophobic like officially, so I shouldn't say that, because if you're claustrophobic, you're probably going to get mad if I say something like that. But I'll just say this. I couldn't sit in a box. There's no way I could do that for a long, long time, because that would drive me crazy. No way, Jose. Not going to happen. Coming up, we've got your brain on drugs. That is on the way. And this dude mailed himself, and you know that it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. Some people don't quite understand the concept of keeping a low profile. Barbara Hill, maybe, is one of these people. She has problems with authority and problems with drugs, and now problems getting out of jail, too. 21-year-old from Arizona was recently arrested for possession of marijuana. Oh, yeah, possession of marijuana for sale, too, and for transportation of marijuana for sale.
Wow.
And possession of a dangerous drug and possession of drug paraphernalia. This all happened because of her problem with authority. She made a very inappropriate hand gesture to a police officer for no reason while he drove past her car. She was driving, he was driving. She just decided to flag him down with one finger. This prompted him to stop, of course, and at that point, he found all of these other reasons to arrest her. So
That
why
wasn't very
would she
smart.
do that? She drew attention to herself when she didn't need to. You know, doesn't make any sense at all. But kids,
She's clearly not very smart anyway
Yeah.
if she's involved in that sort of activity.
that is
so.
the kind of thing that happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
I'm going to read this story quick because Heidi's going to definitely have one to chime in. There's a valid reason for not smoking in hospitals. In Dallas, a hospital patient who was wearing an oxygen mask actually tried to light a cigarette in his room. This sparked a fire that forced the evacuation of more than 100 patients. It destroyed the room and it melted medical equipment. A nurse at the Methodist Dallas Medical Center rescued the man from his burning bed.
Oh my gosh.
Shortly after the blaze, he suffered serious burns and was taken to a burn unit at a different Dallas hospital. Fortunately, nobody else was hurt. Officials didn't release the name of the individual or the condition, citing medical privacy laws. I bet I can tell you what you were thinking of as soon as I said that.
I was thinking of my aunt and uncle.
Yeah. Her uncle was a smoker and her aunt was on oxygen. And they had friends at a ball game and they heard this really loud whistle noise and they saw her Uncle Mike with a cigarette in his mouth working on her oxygen
Leaning
tank,
over the oxygen tank.
trying to fix it because it was whistling so loud like the entire stadium could hear it. And they're all looking at him and he's smoking a cigarette while he's fixing the oxygen
Bad
tank.
idea.
So, anyway, it's a
Yeah.
good thing that didn't turn into a really bad deal. Coming up, we've got your scoop of the day. That's on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. After decades of debate, it seems we may finally have a definitive winner of the over versus under toilet paper draping debate.
Over.
Writer Owen Williams has pointed out that Seth Wheeler's original patent for his perforated toilet paper invention in 1891 shows it being used in an over position.
Of course it does.
Indicating that is how the inventor meant for it to be used, therefore, over it is. Now, we had, 7 or 8 years, probably more than that, maybe 13 years of debate in our household.
Yeah,
And
you think it goes under.
I was an under guy. She was an over girl. We finally put it up to our listeners to vote, and they voted over. So how many times have I flipped it around since then? Never.
I've had to flip it a couple of times.
Oh,
So I think you accidentally
new.
put it on wrong sometimes when you're putting a new roll on.
Well, we're an over household now. And
We are
and you know
over.
what? I'm over it. It doesn't even matter. Hey, a poll has found up to 3/4 of councils in Britain are planning to turn off street lamps. So that's like their city councils. They're going to turn off street lamps or at least dim the lights in an attempt to save money and meet climate change targets.
Mm-hmm.
Police fear that darkened streets are going to act as a haven for
That's
muggers,
what I was just going to say. That's
burglars,
a bad idea.
vandals. And motoring experts warn that there may be more accidents on the road if they're all dark as well. If you want to lose weight, don't diet by skipping breakfast. A study of overweight men who ate eggs and lean Canadian bacon in the morning had a greater sense of fullness throughout the day compared to those who did not have the extra meal in the morning. So they're saying breakfast is important. In what could bring new meaning to the term being put on hold, 19-year-old Lonnie Eugene Stout of St. Johns County, Florida, lost his cell phone recently. Unfortunately, Stout lost the phone at the scene of a robbery. The not-so-quick-thinking Lonnie figured he could get his cell phone back by calling his own number and arranging to pick it up. Well, St. Johns County deputies decided that, yeah, that sounds good. The phone rang. The deputies identified themselves and asked to meet the owner to return the phone. He agreed and was given a phone call, at least one more, before he got to go to jail. So,
Wow.
Can I get my phone back? I left it there when I was robbing that place. Now, how can painting toenails get you in trouble with the law, Heidi?
I have no idea.
In India, a man is wanted on charges of painting toenails, and he's choosy about his victims. According to reports, the man will slink in late at night into the bedroom of
weird.
unsuspecting sleeping victims and paint their toenails
weird.
red or pink. And it's not women the man is victimizing, it's men. So far, 5 men
Weird.
have woken up with painted toenails, and this guy is struck in the middle of the night. That is just bizarre. Now let's head to Gothenburg, Sweden. 21-year-old man there was with some friends as they withdrew some money from an ATM. Noticing the video camera in the machine, he decided, as a joke, to break the glass and steal the lens of the camera. Yeah, that's real smart. Then he and his colleagues laughed as they ran down the street and threw the lens away. Unfortunately, before he took the lens, the camera perfectly captured a shot of his face as he was committing the crime. The bank had a record of his friend's withdrawal. The police put 2 and 2 together, and they arrested the suspect the very same day. So that was not very smart. I don't understand why you would even try to do something like that. Does that make any sense to you?
I don't know. It's crazy.
And let's end right here. There was something fishy about a 911 call that summoned police to the scene of a stabbing. This happened in Madeira Beach, Florida. The police arrested a man for running another man through with a sawed-off bill of a swordfish, meaning he stabbed him all the way through.
Oh.
This fight started on a dock
boy.
and ended in an apartment of the victim, who recovered from his wounds. His attacker was charged with aggravated battery. He got stabbed with a swordfish.
Yikes.
I mean, with a swordfish. That is
would-
just crazy.
That'd leave a mark.
Yeah. All right, let's get to our strange law. In the state of Connecticut, you can be stopped by the police for bicycling over 65 miles per hour. Well, really?
Should you even be going that fast on a bicycle?
I can't imagine anybody. Really? 65? That's fast.
That's really dangerous.
It's a strange law right there. And this has been your Scoop of the Day.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges. And you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. Start earning 6%. Go to commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com right now. What are you waiting for? Go to commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. Again, that's commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We've got a special guest on the phone line with us here. We have April Joy Ford, and she is a #1 best-selling author of a book called You Are Not Alone, How to Rise Above Life's Challenges. April Joy, how are you today?
How are you, John? Pleasure to be with your audience today.
Well, we're super excited to have you on here. Today we're going to be talking about something, since we've got Mother's Day sneaking up next month, and I know there are a lot of people out there right now that probably just said, oh, wow, is that really next month already? It'll be here before you know it. But we're going to talk about Wonder Woman syndrome. And that's something that you kind of coined the phrase Wonder Woman syndrome. And I know there are probably a lot of moms out there that can certainly relate to this. So what is Wonder Woman syndrome?
Well, I'm sure you have somebody in your family or within your network of reach, of family, friends, coworkers, or maybe it's even you that we call the Wonder Woman syndrome. And it's nothing to be ashamed of, but I just wanted to bring awareness to what the Wonder Woman syndrome is. If you're first to see this woman walking down the street, you probably think, oh my gosh, she just has it all together. You know, her hair is perfect, her makeup is perfect. You know, if she has kids, she has the kids, you know, behaving in an orderly fashion. She's got everything down from her career to her household. Everything just looks perfect, just like the character of the cartoon character Wonder Woman. But in reality, we all know that all of us go through some sort of life challenges or boulders of adversity. And sometimes inside, you can't tell just by looking on somebody's exterior what they're really going through. They could be dealing with, you know, stress or being overwhelmed, being burnt out, or maybe some deeper feelings of emotion, such as dealing with the loss of a loved one, or maybe something from their past, such as childhood sexual abuse. But certainly that was the case for me. And again, you never want to judge somebody just by their appearance and by your perceptions of everything seems to be perfect, because we're all human. All of us go through life challenges. Nobody goes through a perfect life journey here on Earth without going through some sort of boulder.
I like how you said that, because you know, here we are on Earth. This isn't heaven, so we were going to have some negatives too, right?
Right. And the thing about it is how you choose to come out of that situation. And we all have really a choice. Sometimes it's hard for us to see that choice when we're in that moment of darkness and despair. But I'll just share a quick reference on my story. People, you know, some of your listeners might be able to relate. I have found that when I coach and mentor people with this Wonder Woman syndrome, it often leads back to women who have gone through some sort of traumatic experience. From a very young age, I'll start back at the age of 9 for my situation. I was a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. And that lasted for 10 years. I had to deal with a lot of emotional trauma, mental trauma, physical, obviously sexual, of being raped by my stepfather. I was pregnant in the middle of high school at 16 and had to go through a lot of insecurities and my confidence being stripped away from me. And fast forwarding in my life, I was able to, again, make that choice in my life to choose how I was going to either be A, a victim, or B, to come out of it. And I built my own version of my American dream. I went to college, got my degree in electrical engineering, worked for the top number one semiconductor company, which is known as Intel today. You know, had a great career, got married, had kids, traveled the world, all that. And another, you know, challenge came my way at the age of 32. I suddenly became a widow and a single parent at 32 years old. So here I was, you know, again, facing what I call the Wonder Woman syndrome, and things to look out for in this syndrome. And I'll ask your audience if this could be you. It's 5 things to look out for. Is 1, are you constantly saying yes to everything? 2, you don't know how to ask for help. And 3, you're overcompensating in certain areas of your life. It could be work, your health, in relationships maybe. 4th, you're compromising. And 5th, you're being competitive. And when I found those 5 syndromes that I call the Wonder Woman syndrome, I started digging deeper and asking, well, where does that come from and why am I doing these things? I found out that, you know, I lacked boundaries. I just wanted to be loved, accepted, and understood and feel connected and validated with other people. And that's why I had a hard time saying no. And I basically said yes to everything. You know, I didn't know how to ask for help because I lacked the confidence from me when I was being abused. I was stripped away from me, and I felt like I had to prove my own worthiness and validation in being competitive with others.
Wow. Again, visiting with April Joy Ford, author of You Are Not Alone, How to Rise Above Life's Challenges. And one of the things that I can tell just in visiting with you, you know, I'm really sad to hear the sad things that have happened in your life. I'm sorry to hear about all that, but you're so inspiring and upbeat despite all of that. It just, you know, it's an absolute joy to hear that you're not taking that and internalizing it and letting that drag you down. It's just great to hear that, hey, you know what, I'm moving on. I've overcome that.
Right, and most importantly, I want people to know that you are not alone. Like I said, all of us go through this, and if I can overcome such, you know, darkness and atrocities in my life and severity, you know, it just goes to show you what's possible out there for anybody. maybe your situation isn't so extreme as mine, dealing with the loss and sexual abuse, but know that there is hope. There is hope for everybody, and there is a way.
Now, the book, You Are Not Alone, How to Rise Above Life's Challenges, where can we go about finding a copy of that?
Actually, people can go to myjoyagain.com, or they can text the keyword joy to 38470, and they'll get a free downloadable copy of You're Not Alone.
Oh, wow. So you'll get a free one. And what is the website once again?
myjoyagain.com, or they can text the keyword joy to 38470. And in there, it's not just a book about inspiration, not only my story, but other people's story, but really tools and practical tips and tools for you guys to implement some of the things that you can do on a daily basis to conquer life's challenges.
And this would be a wonderful thing. Like I said, we got Mother's Day coming up, and I know there are mothers out there that each and every one of us know that maybe have either lost somebody or have gone through some things, and you're saying, this might be a really cool thing to give Mom for Mother's Day.
Right on. It is a perfect gift.
Well, April Joy Ford has been our guest. April, thank you again for chatting with us here today.
My pleasure, John.
And again, I'll give that website if you'd like to get a free downloadable copy of the book. The website, once again, is myjoyagain.com. Thank you so much for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Calvin Coolidge, I better tell you who said it first. Will Rogers once said, Calvin Coolidge didn't do nothing, but that's what we wanted done. So he apparently didn't think he was a good president, didn't do anything, but he was like, we didn't need anything done anyway.
All right.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Mosquitoes prefer blondes to brunettes.
Really?
And they also prefer children to adults. So if you're a blonde child, you better look out for mosquitoes. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
No two spider webs are the same.
I would believe that.
That is crazy to know.
Well, I'm sure they're all built by different spiders. So.
Different spider architects. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Only female mosquitoes bite. They need the protein from blood to produce eggs. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Only full-grown male crickets can chirp. So that's the only ones you hear chirping. They're full-grown males, and I believe that's a mating call. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What is that, John?
Pigs can get sunburn. So can walruses and light-colored horses. And, of course, people, too. So we got all that going for us. We used to have a dog that would get a sunburn.
We did.
A Chinese crested hairless little puppy dog. He would get sunburns. That's a couple of fun facts for you right here on a Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by RadioReallyWorks.com. I know you're listening to a podcast, but did you know the John and Heidi Show is also a radio show? And for those of you who have businesses, you should consider using radio to advertise your business. We can even help you create some catchy little jingles or amazing radio ads that will help pull people in. Get all the details or just learn more at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on this Wednesday. I've got 3 delicious benefits of eating chocolate. These are good things, too. If you eat chocolate, you'll have a sharper mind, Heidi.
All right.
Harvard researchers found that when older adults with diabetes or hypertension and impaired blood flow to the brain drank 2 cups of hot cocoa, like hot chocolate, daily for 30 days, 89% saw an improvement in blood flow during the test of memory and thinking skills, suggesting that cocoa may reverse some of the cognitive changes that come with age or vascular disease. So have some hot cocoa once in a while. You'll feel like a kid again, and you'll start to think like one too.
Nice.
Also, it'll lower your blood pressure. A daily dose of dark chocolate may help lower blood pressure. In one small 2014 study, researchers found that when subject ages from 18 to 23 ate about 1/3 of an ounce of dark chocolate, that was more than 75% cocoa, daily for a month, they experienced a decrease in blood pressure and arterial stiffness. Why? Because chocolate may improve blood flow by relaxing arteries. So chocolate is the miracle drug, Heidi.
Very cool.
And one last thing, if you have a little chocolate, better stress control. Says if you often reach for the sweet stuff when you're under pressure, don't beat yourself up. A recent Swiss study, it made me think of Swiss cake rolls. Is that a bad thing? A recent Swiss study found that dark chocolate may help suppress the production of stress hormones. And it says here you might want to consider permission to keep a little dark chocolate stashed in your desk drawer at work. So there you go. It's going to give you a sharper mind. It's going to lower your blood pressure and help control stress. I think I need some chocolate now. I can
always use chocolate. I'm a huge chocolate fan.
We should go get some chocolate. Now I'm in the mood for some chocolate. All right, there you go. Some really good benefits of eating chocolate right here on a Wednesday edition of the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
You ever need to recharge your body's batteries? Instead of taking a nap, try to get a little me time. Savoring even a few minutes adds fuel to your being. It enhances your energy for the rest of the day, according to Carol Kaufman, Ph.D., and she would know. She's the assistant clinical professor at Harvard Medical School in Boston. She says indulging can even increase your performance at work. To savor stolen moments, remember this. Start small. You know what that means?
What does that mean?
It says close your eyes while listening to soothing tunes. Any activity that can give you a pep. If it calms and connects you to your core, then do it. But she's saying start small. You don't want to do that for like 2 hours. You might get in trouble at work for doing that. But if you just do that for like 20 seconds even, just a tiny little bit. Next says relaxing daily is an essential way to get you going on an annual vacation. It's as essential as going on an annual vacation. So some daily relaxation. She says view each 24-hour period as a microcosm of your year and take a break here and there. And then finally, she says you are worth it. You invest time in other people you love, so you should invest some time with yourself as well. So a little me time will help you make your life a little bit better. So there you go.
I agree with that.
Thanks for listening. We're going to get back to some me time in a bit on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Here's an interesting story, and I kind of wonder how this is going to end. A judge has banned a British man from taking his son to church after the man's ex-wife found out and filed a complaint. According to the International Business Times, the boy lives with his mother but sees his father every other weekend. His father began bringing him to church because he found comfort there after the divorce. But when the mother found out, she applied to the court and won the order to prevent the boy from being taken to any Christian building.
What?
Yeah. Andrea Williams of England's Christian Legal Center says the wife is using the law to coerce and silence a father's right to determine the son's religious experience. She says this would not have happened the other way around. She said if a Christian parent was trying to deny a child to a mosque, there would be a huge outcry
You bet
and
there
claims
would.
of Islamophobia because the man's background was Muslim, and now he's a Christian, and he's taking his child to a Christian church, and the mother said, no way, you can't do that. And the courts were on her side. They said, no,
Wow.
you can't take him there. So I'll throw a link on our Facebook page if you want to get more info on that. But it'll be interesting to follow this and see how that all ends, because that seems really interesting to me. Thank you so much for tuning in to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. I'll give you a toll-free number to call, 888-547-8007. Start earning 6% now. Call 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
Ladies' Home Journal writer Margaret Rankle identified 5 traits of charming people. Do you think you're charming, Heidi?
I think I can
Do you
be
think
charming.
you know people that are charming? Anybody in particular that might be kind of charming? Anybody? I'll tell you what are identity traits of charming people. First, a sense of humor.
Oh, absolutely. I agree
think
with that.
that's good. It says, more important than poise and social ease, being funny attracts people like magnets. Make people laugh, you'll have admirers. Next, insight and passion. A charming person has a unique ability to be fully engaged in the moment. They tend to be highly intelligent, curious, and creative. Next, effortless social grace. Your mother called it poise. A poised person knows exactly what to do and exactly what to say in every social situation, no matter how awkward or strange it might seem to them. I don't think that we necessarily fit that, do we?
That is not me, for sure.
We set a table on fire once at an event. I'm not even kidding. Interest in others is another thing. She says a charming person will be sparkling at conversation, and a charming person will ask others, so how are you? And they really want to know, how are you? Fine isn't enough. They'll say, well, what's so fine about? They'll ask more. They'll ask even more. And if you talk to somebody about that's charming, they'll ask, so how are your children? How's your mom? How's this? How's that? And they're really sincerely interested in that. And finally, the last thing on the list of identity traits of charming people, curiosity about the world. Being deeply curious about all things is a trait of charming people, from trying new foods to reading new books and meeting new people. They always want to know more. And that attitude is contagious, and it inspires others, and their sensation of energy, deeper engagement, and greater curiosity is just fantastic, and it makes them charming. So there you go. Know any charming people, Heidi?
I don't think I do.
I don't think so either. I don't know. I do fit several of these, but there's some. It talked about trying new foods. No, I'm not really good at that.
No, you're not good at that at all.
Like, you want to try this? I'm like, what's in it? Can you tell me all of the ingredients before I'm not even going to sniff it till you tell me that. Sorry. I am not a risk taker when it comes to food. All right. Some fun stuff right there on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up with some good news, and I'm putting this in the good news category only because I really truly think, in my personal world, I do think this is good news. It says dressing modestly is slowly becoming a more mainstream fashion trend, thanks in large part to religious views from people around the world. Jewish and Muslim women are bridging the gap now, honoring their traditions while also expressing their style. According to the Huffington Post, sisters-in-law Mimi Hecht and Muki Nokti, founders of Mimu Maxi, Mimu-Maxi, they're Hasidic Jews, and they're Jewish and Hasidic Jewish. They say many women, regardless of their religious affiliations, would be very at ease and very comfortable using the clothing that they're putting together at Mimu Maxi, Mimu-Maxi. It says, following the requirements of the Jewish law and the modest dressing, it includes higher necklines, sleeves past the elbow, and longer lengths. But they say that they're also clothing that they actually like to wear. And I've looked at this. I think that this looks really nice. It looks very classy. So I can understand completely. And they're still very attractive, but they're respectful and modest. So I'm going to throw a link on our Facebook page if you're interested in checking it out, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And now when you dress because these are more fancy, like dresses, do you feel comfortable dressing in a fancy dress typically, or do you feel uncomfortable? Every time I wear a dress, I feel so uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, obviously,
kidding.
if you're going to an event that requires a fancy dress, I feel fine in a fancy dress.
But do you typically, because, sleeves are short and, skirts are high and,
I don't buy
necklines are low.
things like
does
that
kind of
usually, no.
But when you see others wearing that, would that make you uncomfortable wearing those kind of things?
Yeah, obviously. Otherwise, I would buy them. So, yeah, it would make me uncomfortable to wear.
So personally, I think this is kind of good news that they found a way to take something that fits the religious beliefs of so many people and makes it very mainstream. And I think people that even outside of that religion, because I'm not in that religion, but I think it looks good.
But I will not wear a giant bathrobe and a hood over my head, so that's
not what
happening.
they're wearing. That is not.
But you said it's something that would make all religions happy, and
No,
the only religion
no.
that I think is saying anything about it is.
I'll show you the link, and you can see what I'm talking about. Again, it's on our Facebook page. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
I'm leaving now. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
And your bonus break is brought to you by the good folks at Knowles Systems. If you haven't heard of them, well, you need to listen up because I got to tell you all about this. If you have funds earning less than 6%, maybe you should check into a better system like Knowles Systems. They have commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. If you've never heard of a commercial mortgage bridge loan, I'm going to tell you what this is. It's a loan paying 6% to 8%, and it could be just what you need. You're placed in the first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels and apartments and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges. You can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. If you'd like more info on how you can start earning 6% or more right now, call 888-547-8007. I'll give you that number again in a second, but first, you might want to just check out the website if that's easier. commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. Again, commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com or 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
Let's head to Tulsa, Oklahoma, where we find a man that forced his way into his former girlfriend's apartment and got into a fight with a woman's new boyfriend. During the fight, the man lost part of his ear.
Oh.
The new boyfriend told the police, "I was trying to protect myself and my girlfriend. So during the struggle, he bit the intruder's ear.
Oh, my
Doctors
gosh.
were unable to reattach the ear." So there you go. Don't break into your ex-girlfriend's apartment and fight with her boyfriend if you want to keep both of your ears. Police in Australia are calling it one of the, quote, dumbest crimes we've ever heard of, end quote. Two crooks broke into a security company. 16 of 25 surveillance cameras installed at the Gold Coast Security captured high-quality digital video images of the burglars as alarm bells rang and the pair desperately ransacked the premises in search of valuables. The two tried to cover their faces, but only after looking directly into the cameras.
Oh, my gosh.
Undeterred, the two stole what they thought were 3 video recorders. Instead, they just turned out to be 3 cases, 4 video recorders. Police are using the video tape to identify the pair. So they broke into a security complex.
Yeah, that's not very smart.
Don't you think they're going to have, I don't know, security?
Yeah.
So they broke in and they found out that, yeah, they do have security. And they also found out that, yeah, we're not very smart because we're morons.
Wow.
So I just cannot believe how dumb that is. Why would you do that? But then again, they weren't thinking. Miami's Thomas Mink did... What? It says did exactly that. I must have deleted the headline. Sorry. Let's just pretend like I didn't read that. We're going to head to Miami and Thomas Mink. Let's see what he did. With his court date looming and not having transportation, he decided to forego the bus and the taxi and didn't even want to hitchhike. He decided, I'm going to just take a car.
So he stole a car.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it was a Mercedes.
Oh, well, if you're going to steal one, do it
And
right.
it had GPS tracking.
Of course.
The company that monitors the device alerted Miami police after the owner reported the vehicle stolen. Officers tracked the car to the courthouse parking lot where Thomas reportedly was about to drive away. Several squad cars blocked his exit. Not surprisingly, Thomas told a television news crew during his arrest that he was high at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry guys. Not my fault. I was high at the time. Yeah, it's still your fault. 29-year-old German man snuck over to his neighbor's apartment and tried to break in by prying open a lock with his credit card. It didn't work. The card snapped in half, leaving his name and account details for the police.
Wow.
You see that on TV where they use a credit card or a driver's license or something? I don't think that usually works. I think that's usually just in the movies. But you see it all the time on TV and movies. They're like, they just pull us out and, you know, if you do some certain thing, it's going to open the door. I've tried it. It's not as easy. I've been able to do that like on interior doors once in a while, but for the most part, not such a good thing. And your bonus break has been brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you've got funds earning less than 6%, you need a better system. Knowles Systems. They have commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com, and at that site you can get all the details about these things called commercial mortgage bridge loans. Earn 6% up to 8%. Could be just what you need. Get all of the details at the website commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com.